Hi everyone and welcome. Store-bought puff pastry is very convenient. Take it out of the fridge and within minutes you can have delicious cookies, mini pies or tarts. But today let's make it from scratch, in case it's not being sold where you live or you prefer to know what's in it. To make the puff pastry, let's use unsalted butter with high fat content. I am using butter with 82% fat. This pastry does not have yeast or eggs in it. Butter is the one which will make it puff up and make the pastry flaky. I'll start with sifting flour in a big bowl. Let's add salt to the flour. And let's add a teaspoon of lemon juice to water and gradually add water to the flour while mixing to make consistent dough. Depending on how much water the flour absorbs, you might not need all the water. As soon as the dough starts to hold together and separate from the bowl, it's enough to add water. Let's sprinkle a bit of flour on the kitchen countertop and knead the dough for a few minutes, till it's consistent, smooth, and does not stick to your hands anymore. Let's shape it into a ball, wrap in a plastic wrap and put in the fridge to rest and chill for about 30 minutes. In the meantime, let's prepare the butter. To make it easier to roll the cold butter in the dough, I shape it into a rectangle. I have drawn a rectangle 10 by 15 centimeters on a piece of parchment paper and fold it to create a pocket with the pencil markings on the outside. Let's sprinkle about half a tablespoon of flour on the parchment paper. Cut the butter in 2 pieces and roll it to shape it. And let's also put butter in the fridge to chill while we're waiting for the dough. After half an hour in the fridge, the dough feels more elastic and a little puffier, softer. Let's roll the dough into a rectangle, a little wider than the butter block and a bit more than double the length, so that we can wrap the butter rectangle in it. Put the butter in the middle and fold the dough from all sides to enclose it. Brush off the excessive flour and let's gently roll the dough in a rectangle, approximately half a centimeter thick. Let's try not to stretch the dough edges much. And let's fold the dough towards the inside from both ends and close like a book. Turn it sideways and roll it again the same way. Sprinkle the table and dough with flour as necessary, so that the dough does not stick to the table or the roll, as we do not want to break the dough and push the butter out. And fold again the same way, at first towards the inside from both ends, then close like a book. Let's wrap the dough in a plastic wrap and put in the fridge to chill for about half an hour. After half an hour, let's repeat the process of rolling and folding 2 times. If the dough gets too soft and butter starts melting, roll only once and put in the fridge for it to harden before rolling again. It is important to have the dough cold, as we do not want the butter to melt and mix in the dough. Put the dough in the fridge again for half an hour and repeat the rolling and folding once again. So I roll and fold the dough 5 to 6 times in total, letting it rest and chill for at least 30 minutes in between each 2 times of rolling. If you're not in a rush to bake, let the dough chill in the fridge for at least several hours before rolling and baking it, as puff pastry needs to be cold to puff better. The process takes some time, but the dough can be frozen. I cut it into several pieces, wrap each piece separately in a plastic wrap and put them in a Ziploc bag. That way I need to defrost only as much as I want to use. With this amount of ingredients I get about 800 grams of puff pastry. Let's cut a piece of about 200 grams of puff pastry and bake small puff pastry rolls with sugar, something similar to palmiers. Let's roll the dough a few millimeters thick. Brush it with about 2 teaspoons of melted butter. And sprinkle a few teaspoons of sugar all over the dough. I am using brown sugar, white is also fine. Sprinkle more sugar if you like it sweeter. I like to taste also the flavor of the dough itself. Roll the dough, wrap in a plastic wrap, and put in the fridge while heating up the oven. You can also cut and bake right away. I prefer to put it in the fridge as I find it easier to cut the dough then and it puffs better. Heat the oven to 200 degrees Celsius or 430 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's roll our roll in a bit of sugar, cut in about 1 centimeter thick slices, and arrange the slices on a baking tray covered with parchment paper. And put in the oven to bake for about 15 to 20 minutes till the cookies have puffed up and lightly browned. Remove them from the oven and enjoy.